So, welcome back to the campaign. For anyone new, I play games for the storytelling and challenge, which generally means taking my time, trying to stay thematic, and avoiding exploits. If you prefer min-maxing or speeding through content, then my stuff may not be for you, although you're welcome to join us for a while to find out. In Total War Warhammer, that means using some mods to make the campaigns and battles slower and harder to try to fit the brutal world of Warhammer, and also fighting all but the most lopsided battles manually. There's a link in the description to the video where I go over all the mods we're using and why. For this campaign, we are playing as Kugoth Plaguefather, the Fetid Brewmaster, setting out to spread across the world not for the sake of conquering it, but in search of the perfect plague. For some reason, humans and dwarves and lizards and everyone else don't seem to want to embrace Grandfather Nurgle's toxic love and are fighting back, which is an annoyance to Kugoth and will just have to use more forceful methods, like destroying their armies, conquering their cities, and spreading our corruption to every province we can reach. Okay, so a quick reassessment of the strategic situation. Not much in the way of actual territory has changed hands, but we did win this major battle against Greasus in the last episode. We forced him back to Plaguefather. He is unfortunately recruiting. We have considered the possibility of going ahead and laying siege here to Plaguefather, which would prevent his increased recruitment, but he really, between this army, which is a little bit damaged, but not quite as badly as I might have hoped after the last battle that they lost, combined with the garrison here in Plaguefather, and the fact that we're mostly Nurglings and some still relatively low-level heroes, that might be a little bit much for us. It might be winnable, but I don't really feel like we're in desperate situation right now, especially considering that we may want to strike a balance between continuing to make an offensive push to the west, but also being close enough to reinforce scrap towers if and when necessary. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move. We're going to try some of our old tactics here, where we move Grog out. Actually, I can't. I don't want to move him that far because I want him to stay in encampment stance, so he can still do a little bit of replenishment. Which means he can only get. What's the most direct path to get here? Okay, so we'll move him to here. Obviously, still within very easy reinforcement. I shouldn't say reinforcement range, but very easy range to get back into scrap towers if necessary. And let's go ahead and get our hero units as planned into his army. Can the cultist reach? I hope so. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we got some increased mobility now on both of our armies, so that's nice. Okay. And that's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and give him his rank here. We'll go ahead and give him Children of Nurgle. Now, in terms of when we do start beefing up his red line here, the red line that we're going to focus on is the non-demonic infantry units, I believe. See, and what we can do in terms of strengthening them, we can get all the way up to plus 12 armor, plus 8 melee attack. It's certainly not going to be overpowered by any stretch, but it's significant. And meanwhile, 2 more turns until this building is built, which will give us a little bit more in the way of garrison, which will be nice. 16 garrison is quite good for... Oh, and I forgot. So I did click on this at the end of the last episode, but because it was after the save occurred at the beginning of the turn, I have to do that again. In fact, let me just double check and make sure there wasn't anything else. No. Nothing else from a messaging standpoint that we have to worry about. And there's really nothing that we can do here. We do have 3 more turns before we'll be able to upgrade some of these. Let's hope hope that we can win a battle or two by then and get some more money to actually do some more building upgrades. Okay, so the question then is, what do we do with Kugath? And I think the answer is we can move him here where he can stay in encampment stance, which means he'll continue to replenish, and he will be out of range of the garrison should they come out and attack us, and the winds of magic are tempestuous here in Pig Barter, which is good because he's rapidly dwindling his winds of magic. That really puts the pressure on Greasus to decide one of two things. He either comes out and attacks us, which I don't think he'll do unless he's able to recruit some really strong units into there. And Pig Barter is only at tier 3 right now, so he doesn't have great recruiting. He can recruit Iron Guts, okay, so that's fine, but he can fill up his army with Iron Guts and we can still beat that, so that's fine. So we can go here, put him in a position where he's either got to attack us or let us go by, in which case we can take Ruin's End from him, or just raise it or sack it or whatever. That then goes back to putting the burden of defending here on Grog, but I think Grog, with those hero units, we could maybe go ahead and get a few more other units, like even demonic units. We might do that on a temporary basis, bring some demonic units in here to strengthen him. The combination of him plus Scrap Towers might very well be enough to defend. If we were to lose Scrap Towers, quite frankly, I don't think it's the end of the world. The main thing, the one thing we cannot afford to lose right now is Kugath's army. Kugath's army is our best strategic asset, and that includes some of the higher leveled heroes like Adipus. So that's really the number one strategic necessity, is to keep him alive, which is why I'm reluctant to go ahead and lay siege to Pig Barter right now, because it does put that at some risk. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and move him to where we know the settlement garrison can't get us. At least I think that's far enough. And we'll see what happens there. So we're increasing our winds of magic. We're still replenishing. And if we should decide to turn around and lay siege to it next turn, Grog is close enough to reinforce it. Or if somebody makes a move on Scrap Towers, Grog is close enough to Scrap Towers to reinforce. So that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. We do have one more thing to consider, which is, do we want to drop a plague on Pig Barter? If I'm not going to lay siege to it, it's probably a waste of 100 infections, and I think it probably is a waste of 100 infections right now. I'd rather be spending the infections on a plague when we know we're about to have some combat. So I think that's all we're going to be able to do for the most part this turn. Nothing to do diplomatically. And so let's go ahead and just make sure there's nothing to build. No. Okay, let's go ahead and cross our fingers. It does concern me that Greasus and Gorst are no longer at war. Although we did at least see that Gorst went to war with one of the other ogre tribes, so that's good. Okay, we don't see Gorst making a move on us. The biggest concern that I would have is, now the further we move Kugath westward, the less he is going to be able to get back and help a big fight here in the Scrap Towers salient. But at least right now it doesn't look like that is very nice. Okay, that's great. It doesn't look like that's imminent. And even if Greasus' army comes down here, we're not worried about that. That's a pretty small army. Okay, so we got our fused armor here, which is Okay, some extra infections and some extra money, which is all very good. And okay, so now we have, interesting, Greasus is at war with, ooh, that's big. Okay. And Grimgore, oh, okay, he's got, okay, the strategic situation just changed fairly dramatically for Greasus. And did he declare on war? No, they declared war on him. So Grimgore now at war with Greasus is huge. And so is, what's his name, the, for some reason, Kolek, is that his name? Kolek the Sun Eater, I want to say. Anyway, that's big, potentially, as well. And, okay, let's go ahead, and now we can make hay while the sun is shining, I think. Figuratively, obviously, the sun is not shining here in Nurgle land. Okay, and this army is, if I can click on it. Hello? No, that's, why is it giving me the just desserts? I want Cog. There we go. Okay, so this army, he really didn't recruit as much as I expected him to. He is still replenishing, but that's not an army that's going to be able to beat Kugath in any one-on-one fight. Now, I do wish Kugath could go farther, because we're not even going to be able to get into Ruin's End territory. And I think we have, don't we have an objective to raid Ruin's End? Razor Sack Pig Barter, raid Ruin's End. If I were to switch to raiding stance, our movement is reduced even more. So, yeah, we're just going to keep heading in this direction, I think. I don't really see why not. Next turn we'll raid, perhaps, or else we might just ignore that objective completely. And Grog is now, since we're not going to be attacking Pig Barter after all, Grog, you can move back into the settlement. And now the combination of 16 units, so it's 14 now, but it'll be 16 by the time anybody else gets here. 16 units in the garrison plus 7 more in the army. That's strong enough that it can handle at least a fairly strong attacking force. And so, I think we're okay. I don't think I'm going to bother to recruit anything else here because of that. We're down to 100 income per turn anyway, so that sort of means it's a bad idea to recruit any more military units. I really don't want to go into deficit spending this early. So let's go ahead and spend what little money we have on... I think this is going to be 4,000 in order to gain an extra 200. This is going to be 3,000 to gain an extra 200. Let's do this. We'll go ahead and get him improving. Won't be too long before we'll be able to do Dragonfang Mount as well. And boy, our money situation not looking great. It's very, very important, just like with Napoleon, very important for us to be fighting battles and getting loot. But we're okay for a turn or two. And obviously we will be fighting a battle over here. So that's only tier 2. Nothing to really worry about too much there, except for the prospect of... Okay, I'm not too worried that the Chaos Dwarves are going to declare war on us. I don't really remember, although they don't much like us, do they? They do like the fact that we're at war with the Caravan of the Blue Roses, so that's all very interesting.
The fates agree.
Starcrow, yeah, Kolek Sun Eater, that's what I thought. Okay. Alright, and so from a diplomacy standpoint, nothing to do. The Chaos Dwarves are actually very much not interested in non-aggression. So they could, if we end up sharing a border with them, they could very well declare war on us. And they are obviously stronger than us, but then again, so is everyone, so that's nothing new. And Gorst is still at war with Lizargs. Goldtooth Greasus here is at war with lots of folks. Okay. I'm guessing that Dolgan here is maybe a vassal of Kolek.
Marauder is all.
Vassal of Kolek. Okay, very good. So, all right. What to do then? What to do? Still replenishing. Replenishing. Not going to use the manifestation on him.
We bring grandfathers.
Want him to be able to move if necessary. I think that's pretty much what little we can do this turn is already done. So let's go ahead and do another end turn here. Cross our fingers. Greasus. Yeah, good idea. Go fight some of your other enemies. Gorst, what are you going to do, Gorst? It might be worth pulling one of the new heroes that we've got out of Grog's army there in order to put eyes on Gorst. Wish I would have done that last turn. I should have thought about that. Okay, so we can either give Adipus Grandfather's Embrace, which is a bonus to his hero action success chance, which will be limited in usefulness, but it's certainly conceivable that we could use that at some point. Or we could give him a bonus to Nurgle Corruption. I'm going to give him that. That seems quite thematic to me. And Grog is getting some income and construction bonuses, so that's all very good. That little bit of bonus that we just gave to Adipus might be enough now to... No, still not. Still not enough to get our corruption improving here. However, now our control... We stopped our control from reaching minus 100 for whatever that's worth. And we did get our buildings, so we're at 16 units now in this garrison, so he's doing okay. 11 more turns before he'll be big enough to level up to the 3rd level of population. And Kugath, if I switch to raiding stance, okay, at least I don't suffer attrition. I don't get any replenishment, but I don't suffer attrition. We'll go ahead and knock this Just Desert, we'll go ahead and knock Blight the Land off the books. Gives us 1,600 favor, which is, quite frankly, quite a lot of money for us. And then the turn after, we might be able to reach Ruin's End. We'll find out. Meanwhile, he's sitting on... Droldick is sitting on 17 units. He's not recruiting anymore. He's made Pig Barter a tough nut to crack, however, which is a concern, but if he's not moving that army out towards us, then I'm not real concerned about it. The real question then is going to become, if we do take Ruin's End, do we occupy it? But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's go ahead and take a look at diplomacy.
Father's here.
Nothing to do. Obviously, we don't have... Let me just look at the faction strength here. We're at 76. Oh, the Lizargs are about to be destroyed. That's bad. That means Gorst is going to be gaining a little bit of ground.
Master of the
and losing an enemy, which means we'll be back to being his own enemy, his only enemy. However, he's not super strong at this point, and neither is Greasus, so it is not all that worrisome just yet. Okay. And obviously we don't have the money to be able to afford anything from a settlement perspective, so let's go ahead and...
Blessed be the putrid.
let's go ahead and I think end our turn again. I may want to consider another lord. Not now, but if we decide to take Ruin's End, I may create another lord. Spread our plague around a little bit with him, and then leave a little bit of a presence down here. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's go ahead and end our turn. We're up to turn 35 already. Okay, Gorst is not doing anything special. We've practically fought him and Greasus to a stalemate, which is not the most exciting thing in the world, but it gives us the strategic flexibility to hit them where they are most vulnerable, which is what we're doing, obviously, with Kugath. We have gotten our extra 1600, which is quite nice, and Emmerich is destroyed. How about that? Okay, interesting. We got our technology researched. Got another population surplus. Alrighty, boy, that was fast. We don't have enough favor to be able to level up the Dragon Fang mount. We have the population for it now, but not the money. However, let's find out if we're going to be able to fight a battle this turn. Oh, look how close we can get. Almost, but not quite. Dag nabbit. Alright, well, we're going to keep raiding. Because why not? And we're going to move down here in this direction. So we're committed now. We could have stayed in encampment stance for the little bit of extra replenishment, but quite frankly, there's not very much replenishing to do. Now, interestingly enough, we do have eyes on Gorst.
I'll have your soul.
For some reason. I feel like we weren't able to see that last turn. So let's go ahead and let's get this plague ridden over this way. And get eyes on Gorst on this side. Can we see Knobbly Gorge from here? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Now we can. Okay. And we can see he's got 2 armies over here, plus a third. Oh no, those are Vampire Count's rebels. That's interesting. Dutch Cross Clubs there. Okay, so we have... We can't see what units they have, but they have 22 units total. Probably mostly zombies, is my guess. Which does not concern me, or at least doesn't scare me. And up here, a bunch of skeletons, a little bit of zombies. Can't see everything that's in Helman Gorst. I'm afraid he's probably got a strong group of Graveguard in there, perhaps, but it is what it is. Okay, from a technology, from research here, let's go ahead and start working on this next grouping here. So we've got Festering, which is okay. Ward save for Plague Bearers, which is quite nice, and only takes 2 turns, so that's probably going to be what we want to do. Double experience gain for fighting against Kislev, more evidence that the tech tree is still far more suited to the Realms of Chaos than it is to Immortal Empires, but not that big of a deal. Cycle time -1 for Rancid Aloe, that's one that we're going to want eventually, but we don't have this building built yet. Rot, Glorious Rot is quite good. And that's also only 2 turns. That's what we want to take. And then next time we will take the Eye Crusts. Okay.
The Rot Horde.
Anything that allows us to do extra damage is welcome for Nurgle, because in the early going our units just are not very good at inflicting damage. And so there's really nothing we can do from a building perspective. We're going to have to decide whether to spend money on this or on another building here once we have enough money for it, and I don't know the answer to that just yet. So let's go ahead and look at the usual thing here. The usual suspects.
Father,
Good
the
movie.
only tyrant.
Okay, and I think we can go ahead and
Cataclysm.
end our turn. Greasus, nothing. Gorst, what is he, around 60? 63 or 64 looked like. He did nothing. Alright, well, the good news is we're finally going to get to fight a battle.
I must test.
And I don't see any reason to delay before going ahead and doing so. Let's hit it. Obviously, we could get a decisive victory if we just wanted to go ahead and auto-resolve. You all know the drill. You know I'm not going to do that. They do have just a single unit of missile troops. No, the hero units are also missile troops. Okay, well, nothing terribly concerning. But it is one reason why we may want to go ahead and deploy in the woods. It'll depend on the map. It looks to me like maybe there's no need. I guess we could deploy here, but he's going to come towards us because he has to, because of Kugath and the ability to hurl explosive nurglings at them. So let's go ahead and just not really worry about the woods, and instead let him come to us. Do what damage we can to him on the way. You guys, why don't you... Can you hide in here? You're not hidden. None of these are very good for hiding, huh? Maybe... Well, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Don't really feel like wasting any time on it, so let's go ahead and get everybody into position and start the battle. Speed things up. Let's see. Kugath, who are you hurling at right now? It's okay to hit that saber tusk pack, especially if they stand still like that. That's interesting. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works for him. Okay, now they're moving. That's going to make them harder to hit, so we'll hit the Ogre Bulls instead. Speed things up again. So we're going to have to change his target yet again. Let's go ahead and hit those Ogre Bulls right there. What do we have over here? Second Saber Tusk pack. Do we have any? These are just Noblars. We're not worried about them. Okay, we're going to switch our target now to this. And we're going to go ahead and summon our first little bunch of explosive nurglings here and run them over here. And then blow them up. Yeah, you can keep shooting at them, that's fine. You little nurglings, maybe these saber tusks will attack us. They will indeed. Did a little bit of damage to them, but not too terribly much. Let's get everybody except Kugath to move forward just a little bit. Oh, no, a little bit more. Kugath, why do you keep moving forward? I've got you on guard mode.
Come on.
Oh well, it is what it is. Okay, so now we have a chance to actually use our... Where is it? Our Blight Boy. I love this spell. Let's go ahead and drop it there. It's not the most effective Winds of Magic. It's just cool looking. And it does do pretty good damage. Certainly... not insignificant. And let's just keep casting with Adipus, I guess. Now let's go ahead and use the Stream of Corruption on these. Not quite that close. Maybe like that. And let's make sure we've got the cultist involved in combat here. I think maybe on them. You guys, you on him, even though they have spears, it's fine. No reason to use that just yet. Let's go ahead and summon some more Nurglings here. Kugath is taking a little bit of damage, but it's okay. We're going to send the Nurglings towards his hero units. Why don't you go ahead and get yourself into the middle of our army, please? In fact, more in the middle. Oh, I forgot about my beast, and I forgot about my plague toads. Plague toads, we don't... Let's engage that Saber-tusk pack. And the beast, let's go ahead and get you on the trappers there. Okay, no, we don't want you to engage with the ogres. You can come back here, hit them. You stay away from the ogres. Okay, that's good. That'll lock them down. Don't know what they're going to do up there, but nothing really here to panic about. We have taken a bit of damage, though. It's not really a concern, per se, but not ideal. Okay, in fact, let's go ahead and get you guys pulled back if we can. Plague toads, yeah, of course, you got... That's probably my fault. I probably didn't stay on top of them long enough. Get you... Yeah, you're losing toads because you can't... You don't know how to disengage. Alright, and meanwhile... Kugath's still taking some damage here. But not enough to be a concern. Let's go ahead and get... I'm waiting for the healing here, the fecundity to become accessible. CA. Open letter to CA. Please, for the love of all that is holy, fix cavalry units to be able to disengage. Alright, now what do we have? We got him. Let's go ahead and get our plague bearers on them. Let's get our other plague bearers on them. Let's get a rancid visitations here on those heroes. Yep, still can't do it. Still can't get away from them. Lost 4 toads. Okay, and how are we looking? It's time to just, I guess, have everybody on them except for you. You stay on him. You go ahead and drink your healing potion because why not? You go. No, you stay on him. You on that hunter. That's good, actually. The beast and Nurgle doing work over there. Let's go ahead and get Kugath healed up a little bit, and now I'm happy. Okay, we're in fine shape. What are you doing? You're chasing somebody. Yeah, that's fine. You go ahead and engage with them and let our plague toads get away. At this point, all that plague toads are good for is to occupy one of their ogre units for the majority of a battle while we just perpetually keep trying to run them away. Let's go ahead and get you in there helping on them as well. How are you doing? You're still on the hunter. You ought to be able to win that fight. I'm not sure what's going on there. And then everybody else, go ahead and get on them. I think we can speed this up a little bit now. Go ahead and get you on. Let's get you helping out over here. How are you doing down here? You're doing fine. There we go. Okay. Can you... Any chance you can kill him? Probably not. We want our Beast of Nurgle to break off of the trappers there and try to help kill this thing. Oedipus, can you reach anybody with the Rancid Visitations? Probably not. What about... I think we did kill the other one over here. Come on, guys. Can you do this? Speed things up here. That hunter's got 864, 356. There we go. Perfect. Okay. End battle. Did we kill both hunters? No. One of them got away. Oh, well. I think what we're going to do is occupy Ruin's End. Basically start closing our fist around Pig Barter. It is possibly a risk with respect to the Chaos Dwarves, but this is strategically tertiary territory. I don't really feel all that concerned if we were to lose it. We'll basically abandon it to the Chaos Dwarves if they do attack us in force. Okay, rank gain. This is good. Finally, we've got our regeneration for our Nurglings. That's a milestone as far as I'm concerned. Let's go ahead and take it. And this is good. Let's go ahead and get these guys a little bit stronger. Aura of Chaos might not be a bad choice, but for now I'm going to go ahead and make them stronger in melee. You can't increase mobility anymore right now, so it will take harder to hit. Hero killing blow. Let's go ahead and this is still Kugath's army, so we don't need replenished troops. So we'll just continue taking these spells. We got fused armor. I probably should have applied that before.
The Plague Weaver.
Before the battle, but it's not a big deal. Perfect Vigor is not a big deal, I don't think, for... Well, actually, the plus 10% speed would be nice for Kugath. Yeah, let's give him a little bit of extra speed. And then we'll give Mintash here, we'll give him the bonus to armor 165. That's it's quite a lot of armor there. Okay. Ruin's End. Tier 1. Gives us a little bit of money, though. That's fine. Won't say no to that. And we are getting our corruption up, which is good. If we can get the corruption up high enough, that means we'll be able to move into Pig Barter territory without losing troops to attrition. Nothing to do over here. So, the real question, we do have... Okay, got a couple choices here. We could level up Dragonfang Mount, which I think is probably not yet what we want to do. We may want to do this instead. We don't really need... We don't desperately need more control, but it wouldn't hurt to get control back up to 100. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this first. This is, I think, ever so slightly, marginally better for our economy than anything else we can do. And then, do we want to recruit another lord? Doesn't look like we'll be able to. Yes, we could afford a chaos sorcerer lord if we wanted to. It's a possibility, and we can recruit them at rank 5, which is nice. But I don't think we want to do that just yet. Oops. Okay. Learn to put your fingers on the right keys there, Michael. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and... I think we're going to leave everybody else where they are. Still can't tell what is in these armies. These guys disappeared. I don't understand how from one turn to the next we lose visibility over here, but not going to worry about it too much, I suppose. So we'll leave him there. We got ourselves a nice little stockpile of infections. We don't really need it. Okay, so a quick look at diplomacy here. Goldtooth is in fairly bad shape. Wow, look at this. Our relations with Gorst is actually improving for whatever that's worth. Okay. Wouldn't be too surprised if in another turn or two Greasus would like to make peace with us, but that's not going to happen. Okay, let's go ahead and end our turn, see what they decide to do. Greasus first. Nothing. Gorst, what about you? Nothing, at least with respect to us. And I'm probably going to want to start paying attention to the Chaos Dwarves as well. What they do. Okay, so we can improve diplomatic relations with Dolgan, or we can infect an enemy general. Well, I don't care about the diplomatic relations, but I definitely don't want to lose the money. So we'll just poison the water supply. Confederation, interesting, okay. So Greasus just got maybe a little bit stronger. Grog, a little bit of a control bonus, and there we go, that's nice. I'm glad we got that army ability. And now they're back to raiding us, but that's not going to last long because we're going to go ahead and start making our move back towards... Okay, this is good. It's so nice to be able to move in territory without suffering attrition. Okay. So, nothing to do here. It's going to take a little while for... You know what I might want to do? Let's give him some growth. There we go. Finally, we can make use of our plagues again, and that changes him from... I forget now how many turns that was, but all the way down to 3 turns for him to get a population surplus. And we are threatening Pig Barter. Looks like we can reach Pig Barter next turn if we wanted to. So he's going to have to move his army back into it to defend it, I think. That's what I expect to happen. If he doesn't, we'll lay siege to it, because even though it's a strong garrison, it's up to 20 units, that's okay, because our Nurglings now have regeneration. And we really like regeneration, okay. Here, we're back to losing some control because of the raiding that's happening, but I think that's going to stop after this next turn. And not to mention our control building here is Gonna start improving as well until it starts getting worse again. We cannot, unfortunately, afford to do anything from a building standpoint. Go ahead and leave him where he is, the hero. It really looks to me like they're not too interested in doing much of anything, so we're gonna go ahead and put him back in Grog's army. I assume, yeah, the vampiric corruption is still at 100, and that's going to take a long time for us to whittle that down. And now research, we decided we were going to do eye crusts next. Okay. How far are we from being able to start getting some military buildings going here? It's going to take a little bit of time. We're basically doing all this with the chaffiest of chaff units, and that's fine because we do have all these hero units. Hero units in the early going are wonderful for Nurgle. Okay. However, it's going to be awesome when we get a little bit further into the game, into the mid-game, and we'll start having some really nice demonic units in our armies. That's going to be sweet. Okay. Let's go ahead, check diplomacy one more time.
Nurgle's beloved. Tribe.
No, Greasus is even for. Oh, that's because he confederated now. He's up to 5 settlements. Whatever. It is what it is. Another intern and Greasus. What is his army going to do here? That's what I expected. Okay. If we do decide to lay siege to him, he will attack us. I feel almost certain about that. So then the question becomes, do we feel like we could win that battle? Probably not. Again, it's the same concern that I had before about not wanting to expose Kugath's army to extreme risk. I mean, obviously we have to expose him to some risk, but extreme risk, that would be our biggest strategic blunder that we could commit. Alright. Clan wars, good. That's good. We'd like to see that. The Chaos Dwarves go into war with the Skaven. That's one less thing for us to worry about for now. And get some level ups here. Let's go ahead and get Oedipus. I really like this Locus of Contagion. That's going to happen at level 13, so we are 1 away from that. And in the meantime, we want to give him Fleshy Abundance, because that's a wonderful spell. And then over here, I know I saw somebody else with a... There it is. Septid, okay. He's got to level up. We'll go ahead and give him Aspect. And... I think there's... Nope, there's nothing to do from a magic items or ancillaries perspective. Kugath. Let's do some raiding, shall we? Let's get up to here.
March on, children.
345 favor, which nothing compared to my Khazrak campaign and the raiding that we can do with him, but obviously completely different circumstances. 345 is a considerable amount for Kugath right now. Drolldig, please come out and attack me. I know you're not going to. Okay, scrap towers. Now we're gaining a little bit of control again because he's not raiding. We've got... We could do this. I don't see any reason not to. Plus we'll get an extra 200 per turn starting next turn. So that's nice. Okay. Slow progress, but steady progress. We're not... There's none of this 2 steps forward, 1 step back so far. We're basically taking 2 steps, or let's say a step and a half forward, followed by a step and a half forward. Alright, let's give this one more end turn, I suppose. See what happens. Don't think... Well, I want to check the diplomacy.
Knuckles.
These turns are happening so quickly that I feel like I just checked this and then I realize that that was the previous turn. Okay, here we go. Oh, I thought he was going to attack us. Got my hopes up. It's an interesting decision there, and Gorse didn't do anything. Interesting decision by Greasus, because that puts him in a position where his garrison army has to actually come out and reinforce, which will be like that 3-minute delay. Which is just, you know, it's a tactical disadvantage. I wonder why he would have done that. Okay, 7% ward save for our plague bearers. That's nice, and Khorne is now ascendant, which is not really a big deal. Okay, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to leave it there. We don't have enough time to fight this battle in this episode, but we've backed Greasus into a corner. We're in pretty good shape here. Ruin's End is going to end up, well, if we end up taking Pig Barter, then it'll happen here, but it looks like it's headed for a revolt if circumstances don't change, but that's not a big deal. Kugath, strong looking right now. This army definitely can match up with Groldig, but still might be a little bit much to ask against Groldig plus that garrison army. Grog is continuing to just basically hold the fort down here, which is that's what we wanted. I mean, we wanted this to be a launching pad for attacks in other directions, and so far the attack on the west has been fairly successful. And then we've got not enough money to do anything here, so we won't have much to do before really just a decision about what to do over here. That's all we're going to have to worry about in this turn. But again, that is going to have to wait until next time. So thank you all for watching. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Thank you for the comments. Please keep them coming. I always appreciate them. Don't promise to always follow every piece of advice, but I have found actually quite a few of the suggestions to be really useful advice, so that's always a good thing. And anyway, I will see you all in the next one.